So if I could get your payment to $650, you'd buy today, right? Well, you've heard that sentence or one just like it. What you didn't know is that it was scripted, tested, and taught in a sales seminar, specifically to get you to say yes before you would agree to anything real. There's a lot more where that came from, and by the end of this video, you'll never hear one of those lines again without knowing exactly what it's doing to you. You've done this. You walk into the car dealership, they ask you what you're looking to spend, and some part of you thinks, well, I'm not going to tell them. They're going to use it against me. Well, that instinct is correct. They're trained to make sure that you never answer first. They're going to say, excuse me, let me present my numbers first, word for word. Is the training, budget is information that you control, and they need to control it instead. And once they control that, they use the same trick in reverse. Oldest line in the car business is, if I could, would you? So if I could get your payment to X, you'd buy today, right? Those aren't questions, those are traps. Say yes, and you're going to be verbally pre-committed to a monthly number before you've even seen the real price. So once you're locked into the payment, the deal gets reverse engineered to hit it, stretching the loan, padding the back end, while the actual price of the car never moves. My favorite is, a big dog truck takes a big dog payment, Mr. Customer, is the same trick wearing a compliment. Reframe as an unaffordable payment as toughness. So backing off feels like you're admitting that you're not tough enough. The lesson in this whole chapter is one line. Never let them turn the conversation into a monthly payment. That's the number they can bend 8 different ways without you noticing. And these sales training seminars, almost verbatim, this is what they're going to tell you. You get a price objection at $6.99, raise it to $8.99, Mr. Salesman. The customer's going to complain either way. So let them complain about a bigger number. The price was never based on cost or value. It's a test to see how much complaining you as a customer are going to do and absorb before you walk. And when you push back, they don't drop the price, the payment or price to something fair. They drop to something that feels like a win. They're going to say something like, well, you know what? This is just for you because you're special. While it's padded, it's still padded well above what they would actually accept. So far, every tactic has been about the numbers. The next one is about the clock. Ever wonder why a quick test drive turns into 3 hours? Every extra 30 minutes lowers your resistance. A tired buyer says yes to things a fresh buyer wouldn't. And then they're going to come up with these deadline closes. They're going to say the deal is only good today. There's going to be countdown language. They're going to say the other buyer is coming by at 4-story. The manager can only approve the rate right now. Different costumes in the same trick, all built to get you to decide on adrenaline instead of your actual budget. The sales training here is explicit. They're going to lie to you. Okay, they're not might, they will. Every hesitation, every let me think about it from you gets treated as a lie to be defeated, not as information to respect. That's why you get the redirect, the let me go talk to my manager, and then the disappearing act to the back office. And then, these are my favorites. It gets personal. And they're going to say something like, well, isn't it important for your family to be in a safe vehicle? And of course, and that's exactly why it works. Nobody wants to sound like they don't care about their family's safety. And if none of that moves you, maybe this is too much car for you, they might say. Not concern, reverse psychology, built to make you argue your way back into the sale just to prove them wrong. And here's the ugliest version in this chapter, and it's straight from the inside of one of these training seminars. A sales trainer bragged about going through a customer's bank statement line by line, and they're circling every restaurant charge, framing it as, here's why you're broke, Mr. Customer, to make them feel small enough to say yes. And that's not selling a car. That's intimidation dressed up as financial advice, and that is taught on purpose. I got some quick counters here so you can actually have them ready. So to the payment question, you tell them, I'm not discussing monthly payment, only the out-the-door price. To the big dog truck payment, you need to tell them, I'm not buying a feeling, I'm buying the number, how much the car is going to cost me. To the fake urgency, I guess I'm not getting the deal today. To the family safety guilt line, you need to tell them, well, yeah, I'm concerned about my safety, but I'm also concerned about overpaying for it. To the, this is too much car for you, you just go silent. You let that sit, and that line only works if you flinch. So if any of these closes sound familiar to you, leave a comment. Let's move on. Now, You know what they're doing. Here are 3 rules that will stop it. So you got 3 rules here. Rule number 1, never negotiate the payment. Only negotiate the out the door price. They're trained to stop you from giving your number first and to lock you into a monthly figure before the real price is settled. One line beats them both. I'm not discussing monthly payment, only the out the door number in writing with every fee included. Say it once and don't repeat yourself. The second rule is never make a decision under pressure, whether the pressure is fear or the pressure is charm. Fake urgency is fear pressure. Then I guess I'm not getting this deal today ends it. The pressure isn't always scary. Sometimes it's the laughing from the salesman, the rapport you get from him. He's going to say something like, who'd you rather buy from? Listen, liking your salesperson is fine. Just don't let liking them replace verifying how much this is going to cost you. So here's how you can tell which kind of pressure that you're dealing with. If they suddenly find out a way to still honor the price, the deal tomorrow, the fear was always fake. If the friendly small talk turns cold the second that you say, let me sleep on it, then the charm was never really about you. Rule 3, get the out the door number in writing before anything else happens. Maybe even before you test drive the car, before you talk about the trade-in, the let me see what I can do. And if they start going through your personal spending to make you feel irresponsible, just leave. That's intimidation, not financial advice. Every tactic in this video was taught on purpose in a paid sales seminar to people whose paycheck depends on you not knowing it was taught. That's not one bad salesperson's personality. It's a business model, practiced and sold as closing skills. Which means the fix isn't finding a nicer dealership, it's knowing the script well enough that it stops working on you. The second that a salesperson realizes you already know the payment trap, the price ladder, the guilt trip, the entire dynamic changes. You go from being a mark to a buyer who knows what they're doing. And that's the only version of this conversation where you get a fair deal. So if you remember nothing else, remember one sentence. Never negotiate a payment, negotiate the out the door price. Say it in the mirror before you go car shopping if you have to. It covers everything in this video at once. So you're not paranoid for noticing this stuff. You're just finally seeing the script for what it is. So you're thinking about buying a new or used car, or possibly maybe leasing something, and you would like some professional advice, maybe to walk you through the process. Go down in the description. There's a link for a one-on-one Zoom consultation meeting with me, or just click the QR code that's on the screen right here. It's my goal to help you save as much time, money, and frustration as possible. Last month alone, I had one client that I saved over $3,100 by just having a 1-hour sit-down Zoom meeting with me. I know it works, and I know I can help. I'm not here to tell you that everybody in the car business is horrible and they're going to do bad things to you. I personally know a lot of people that still work in the car business, and there are a lot of really hardworking people that want to take care of their customers and sell cars the right way. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about a segment of salespeople that are out there that they are not looking out for you, and they're not trying to sell you what you want. They are trying to control the car deal, and they're going to try to make as much money as they possibly can. So remember, the only person that's going to take care of you and stick their neck out and save you is you. So now that you know a little bit more about how this business works, you really need to watch this next video. This is about some of the tactics the guys in these stores still do that they wish that you didn't know about. So until next time, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Please consider becoming a channel member. It would do a lot to help support the work that we're doing here. So until next time, we're going to catch you on the next one, and goodbye.